Welcome back to another episode of Door Kickers 2 Task Force North, where we've been using realistic military tactics and CQB doctrine to play this game. This game is called Door Kickers 2. It is an active pause, tactical, top-down, close quarters battle game and kind of like a tactical decision-making puzzle style game. But we're able to use sometimes realistic tactics to play it successfully. More importantly, though, I see it as an opportunity not just to have fun, but to maneuver these fire teams in ways that replicate what might be done in real life and use it as a tool to graphically illustrate different options when you face these tactical dilemmas. Today, we're taking a look at a level called the Ambassador's Guests. The Ambassador's Guests is a custom map that has been recommended to me on my Discord server, which is in the description down below if you guys are interested in playing Door Kickers with like-minded folks or other tactical games or talking tactics or guns or any other sort of stuff along those lines. But a user by the name of Sylvain created this map. It's called the Ambassador's Guests. It looks pretty cool. Let me read you guys the description real quick. It says, neighbors reported that multiple vehicles containing enemy combatants have pulled up outside the residence of an important political figure. After a hostile invasion of the building, the enemy appears to have barricaded themselves inside the house. Satellite images suggest no movement outside. Clear out the structure and/or rescue the diplomat. In order to approach the scene relatively unseen, you will use civilian vehicles to make your approach. As you can see, we have arrived to the scene with 8 assaulters in 4 low visibility civilian vehicles. And I'm going to talk to you about kind of like the ground tactical plan, my scheme of maneuver, what I've equipped these assaulters with. But before that, if you don't yet own Door Kickers 2 Task Force North and you want to, you can purchase it from my game store at nexus.gg/controlledpairsgaming. And guys, if you're not following me on Instagram and you want to learn a little bit more about me, I'm doing Ask Me Anythings over there pretty frequently. I'm sharing videos and photos from the range. We're talking tactics, we're talking current events, we're talking all things defense and doctrine and anything along those lines. So I hope that if you have an Instagram, you'll follow me over at Controlled Pairs, which is also linked down below. Now, when we take a look at this compound and we want to break it down and figure out how to assault it, we perform, as we always do, what we call intelligence preparation of the battlefield, in which we describe the environment and the terrain on that environment, and that helps us understand how the enemy might have arrayed himself on the battlefield. Once we know how the enemy has arrayed himself, we try to envision how the enemy might fight on the battlefield. Once we know all of that, we can finally get to our own plan and array our own forces and generate our own courses of action and finally execute the ideal course of action against the enemy that we have envisioned. So we'll start by describing the environment. So it looks to be daylight. It's difficult to tell because it's still kind of grayed out, and this is the first time I have ever played this map. As with all the videos that we share on the channel, we try to do them blind, so we go in without knowing a whole lot about what we're getting into, and we record the first go at it as a means to really test our tactics and our decision making. And we know that this is a political figure's house. It looks to be a nice house. It looks to be a residential house. But when we start to think about like construction materials, which can influence the type of ammunition that we take, it can influence our method of clearance. It can also inform how we operate once we are inside the building. Because if we go in and we identify enemy combatants and we feel confident that the backstop, the structure itself, is going to stop the rounds that we fire, we might be a little bit more violent with the amount of rounds that we fire or the areas that we place the rounds in. But because we know that this diplomat is in here and the mission is to save him, it's important that we kind of take a stab at where we think he might be and we get a good idea of what this building is made of. Because I'm seeing things like, a fountain out front, a big, pretty sidewalk and driveway, a big old garage, and we just know that this guy's a well-known diplomat. Perhaps this building is made of some sort of thick kind of stone or concrete or other, sort of a structure that could absorb some small arms fire. And when we try to make an assessment as to where this diplomat might be, because that would inform our assault, we got to think that whoever attacked him would have stored him in a location where he could not escape. So I'm starting to look for locked doors. I see that this bathroom is locked. That means that someone is very likely inside it, particularly as it looks like there's a room right here that has no other means of entry other than through the bathroom. And I'm also seeing sandals right there, or some other like slippers or something. So someone is definitely in this space. And then interestingly, we've got a shower here with a curtain or drapes right here. So there's some dead space inside. So someone could very well be, barricaded in here, either a combatant or a civilian, potentially trying to hide, because we know that these people were attacked and that there was a home invasion of sorts. But our diplomat could very well be in here. He could be held captive in here. If we continue to look for locked doors, we see another locked door here. This looks like a pretty obvious choice. Center room, deep in the structure, hard to get to, easy to barricade in there. And of course, it's a locked door. So that's a very good candidate, probably my primary candidate for where our diplomat might be right now. And the easiest space for them to defend in this entire structure is, of course, this large open room, because they can get into these little corners and they can kind of fight like this. They can look out these big open windows to make sure that I'm not coming around from behind the structure. They can peek through these curtains to see that we are entering from the main gates down to the bottom. So that definitely gives them the best area to defend. And then you also have an opportunity to lock away the captive right there. So the rest of the structure continues to kind of indicate, here we go. We got another locked door here, another locked door here. Those are just points of entry. I kind of expect those to be locked, so no big surprises there. So what am I thinking? I'm thinking that the enemy is peeking out these blinds. I'm thinking they've got a sentry back here. They could potentially even have a sentry in the outer area, but that wouldn't make quite as much sense since this was a home invasion. I think they would all be kind of grouped together. So I'm thinking they're defending in this room mainly. They're peeking out these windows. They may be also peeking out these windows or looking through this window. I think we potentially have civilians barricaded back here, and that's kind of how I think the battlefield is arrayed. I also think our ambassador, or this political figure, this diplomat, is he's kind of locked down in here, very likely accompanied by an armed guard. Other things to consider. So this was an attack, right? We see the enemy have arrived in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pickups. Each one of these pickups could hold 5 to 7 to 10 people, depending on how many people they're putting in the back. So we also have evidence that they arrived with heavy weapons, because that looks like a weapons crate right there. We didn't see any other weapons inside. That means they're holding all of the guns that they showed up with. They're not laying on the floor. So they are armed and ready to fight. And we're looking at potentially a pretty large force. So let's just assume 5 on average per truck. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So we're talking up to 30 combatants scattered across this. So what do? We send a counter assault team of 8 dudes. Sounds like a plan. All right, so it's Mission Impossible. Gotcha. So we also don't know where these guys came from. That means that, as we work to assault this compound, we could very much face a counterattack at any time, and these guys could have reinforcements. They could be on the phones with their buddies right now, and as soon as they're compromised, they could try to envelop us by pushing more forces into the space and overwhelming us in that way. So I've got to maintain security to the rear. I've got to press through this entire compound to the front. I've got to try to maintain surprise for as long as possible so that our diplomat isn't executed once we are discovered, and I've got to get in and get out as fast as possible. Okay, so how do we achieve this? Well, I think my plan is going to be to establish kind of an outer cordon or an observation post or a battle position in these areas here. I don't want to compromise myself, but I do want to get cameras under these doors, or at least a camera under these doors, so I can start looking into the structure here. I can see if they are peeking through blinds here, and I can get a general idea of what the movement sort of situation looks like on the front of this house. I think I am then going to attempt to make entry somewhere back here. The risk of doing so, of course, is that I could be compromised trying to come through this gate up top, either by someone in this area, someone external, like doing a foot patrol. It would make sense, certainly, for the enemy to be performing some sort of foot patrol, or most likely someone posted up right here looking out that window that is wide open. So I've got to start thinking smoke. I got to start thinking stacking behind this building, clearing this building silently, and then smoking this up to make entry. When I do finally make entry, what I think I want to do is get a camera in here, peek under the door like this, make entry quietly, try to maintain that element of surprise. We talk often about the fundamentals of close quarters battle being speed, surprise, and violence of action. Here, the key is going to be to speed into position at the locations I just described, here and here. Maintain surprise until we believe we know where our diplomat is being held captive. And then once we sacrifice surprise, cranking up the violence of action by employing a lot of handhelds, transitioning from a more limited penetration or threshold style of clearance to a dynamic style of clearance and getting to our guy. And then once we get to him, securing him and maintaining his safety all the way to the extraction, which is these green spaces down here. So with all of that in mind, it should be pretty easy, right? Who did we bring to the fight? We have 8 guys total. I've task organized them into 2 groups. My assault group, my assault team is over here, and kind of my support team is over here. I'm going to maintain a grenadier, a machine gunner, and a second grenadier as the support element. These are going to be the guys fighting from here. I'm going to take this DMR. I'm going to kick him over to my assault team. This assault team is going to camera this door, move up here, peek around this corner here, move here, silent clear here. This is going to be their last cover and concealed position. Smoke here, breach here, clear this portion of the structure first, and go loud into this portion of the structure. Actions on contact. If I am compromised, I am still going to maintain that same plan. I don't feel comfortable clearing this direction until I have all of this clear. I do think that our guy is there, but I can't get to him if I'm getting shot in the back. So I'm willing to accept some risk. I'm also going to put my DMR right here and potentially cheat him up to the tree to take choice shots through this window should we begin to take any more contact, and then potentially to even slide this way and take shots in here. He's also able to pull along security there. We always talk about having our L right here. And then with this guy right here, there's our L. All right, let's get going. All right, so what we've done in our first move here is to begin clearance over here of this gate, and then also to start creeping our folks forward and seeing if we can get good eyes through this gate or these gates. Once we have a better idea of what's going on up front, it'll inform the method of clearance that we're going to be able to use over here. Here we go. This is like a graded gate, but I can still use the camera to check this hard corner. That turned out to be a good call. I am going to go ahead and just get inside, like right now, so we're not wasting any time. And I'll kind of just like maintain bounding overwatch here while we start creeping these guys forward. And these are also graded gates. You can see we're starting to get slices there, so I'm mindful of that. Gosh, that's loud. Oh! And we are taking shots. We're smoking dudes. Okay, so we're hard compromised. I'm going to smoke this up. I still want to get my DMR across if we're able to. So I'm going to get a smoke like right here. And right here. And right here. Since we are compromised, I'm going to go ahead and stand this guy up, make sure we have good security. All right, we are obscured. Is this guy standing? Yep. All right, here we go. We're going to sprint across what we can to get that DMR in the fight. And while this is also... All right, so since we have been hard compromised now, the enemy's still pretty confused. Remember, only a few seconds have elapsed, so we did take one deep shot in here to smoke this dude. We've got smoke out. They don't know whether an assault is going to happen or not. We've still got confusion on our side, but no doubt we have to crank up the speed because we're forfeiting surprise rapidly. I think I'm also going to give this guy some standoff. So I'm going to maintain cross coverage from these 2 trucks so we can get 2 angles into here, and I'm going to push long right there so I can get good security right there. There we go. Definitely not perfect, but not too shabby either. All right, here we go. Where are we shooting? Where are we shooting? Where are we shooting? Okay. Now that we're compromised, I'm expecting to get pushed hard. Yep. Another insurgent. I do want to put HE in here, but we don't know where our diplomat is. But now we do know that we're hard compromised, so we're going to start clearing like that's the case. Letting our marksman slice this pie over here. Okay. We're clear to pick the lock. We're going to scooch up, maintain cross coverage for our guy working the lock. We still have relative surprise for our assault element up top, so we do need to treat this assault slightly different than the one occurring on the other side of the battlefield. Okay, I'm going to leave with my suppress guns. Are they still pushing? Oh, damn, that was a deep shot. Nice work. Okay. All right, I'm going to plan to take this with 2, so we're just getting the MP5s around the corner first. I want to clear deep, and then I'm going to stack on this side of the structure. I need to get this clear because that's my last cover concealed before I launch into here. We're sticking with the same plan, despite the fact that we've been compromised. We're going to keep fighting. Okay, clear deep. We do have one enemy there. I'm going to put the marksman here as intended. I authorized that shot from the marksman. We brought him over here exactly for that. All right, and here we're going to try to maintain our surprise. I don't like the idea of doing this with a 2-man clear at all. Like, this is really rough because we see where the door handle is. We know it's a short room. We've been in contact outside of the room. Where the door handle is requires us to stack over here, but there's boxes over here that prevent it. Plus, we need to maintain security on this side. There's nothing good about the geometry of the fight on this side of the house here. But what we'll do is I'll boot with this guy, come over his shoulder, so we're at least opening the door into cross coverage. That's exactly why. Immediately go dynamic into the room with our quiet boys. We know it's a 2-man clear. This door becomes a threat, so that's exactly how we finish it. There's still dead space behind that door. Security is still holding up top magnificently somehow. We're still looking okay on the bottom too. All right, this room is clear. We're going to restack. All right, next we're going to high-low this corner. We know that that is a 2-man job. That means we'll give this guy a quick delay. Peek the corner just like that. High-low doesn't exist in door kicker, so we know we have to go long with the 2-man. This is going to give us a first peek into this room. High-low, that just means we're sending 2 assaulters around the corner at the same time, so we have 2 barrels in the fight rather than 1. This is achieved by the lead man taking a knee, the 2-man coming over the top of his shoulder, and doubling your chance of a first-round hit when you do that. So that's exactly what they're going to try right now. Okay. Now we've got good security here, so we're going to hold long. We're even going to go so far as to smoke up this. That's going to set us up for a breach into here. This is a greater threat because it is an open breach, but we also know that we believe the enemy is fighting their primary defense in this space, so we don't want to commit there first. We want to clear out the rest of this stuff behind us before we commit to it. So we'll smoke that up. I'm going to leave a buddy team here to maintain security on the back end. That's going to be this DMR pulling long, and then this M4 pulling short. I'm going to have them tied both to move after we've got that smoke billowing. So that smoke's going out now. I'm also going to tell this guy he doesn't have to ask permission to shoot people anymore. There's that smoke. We do see one shooter there, so we know it's a threat. But now that we have that smoke billowing, we're going to run here and start picking this lock. We do want to stay quiet. There's other methods of silent breach in the toolkit under other conditions, like real-world conditions. They are not replicated in door kickers, so our only option for a silent breach is to open the door or to pick the lock. So given our situation here, we're going to pick the lock. We are going to move here on a sprint. Now that we have good obscuration and we've got guys working this breach, I'm going to move this battle position into a better security posture.
Alpha, go.
Next thing we're going to do is put a camera under this door. So we picked it, so we know we can get into it if we need to. We're doing a lot of work in front of the fatal funnel right now, which is generally not recommended, but it's what we got. Okay, because we know we've got machine gunner here and here, I'm actually going to get creative with these guys. Put a wall breach here. We'll maintain security on this open threshold and on this door. See that? We dropped security here. I felt comfortable doing it because we knew we had good security here from this battle position. So we've got a sniper pulling long with the right weapon system to do it. We got an M4 pulling short with the right weapon system to do it. We can see into this room. We can see into this breach. And we've got options here. So we're looking okay. All right, we're going to breach with a foot and with a wall shot at the same time.
Go.
Good effects here from this battle position down here. Good effects from that wall shot, giving us an alternate mechanism or means of entry. We'll maintain this angle, maintain this angle. Work this angle. Run it back. Hold this for a bit. All right, because this is just... Oh, come on. Boys, you got to be ready for that. This is why we're fighting from the threshold, guys. You can debate, and it has been debated more than you could possibly know, the differences between dynamic entry and limited penetration threshold style clearance. Dynamic entry would have had me stack these boys on the outside, blow these breaches, and then flow them in, take points of domination, and fight inside the rooms. The enemy situation in the building was such that just did not make sense, and I would be better off opening up a couple of breaches and then fighting from outside this space, and we can see exactly why based off everything that has happened so far. And it's done well for us so far. What I am starting to think about, though, is we've shot a lot of rounds. We're going to need some ammunition here in the near term. So how are we doing here? Everyone's doing okay. surprisingly. These guys up here also doing okay, but we will start to think about mag changes in the near future. Okay, let's go ahead and clear this boy out. Man, this is hard. Okay. A lot of moving pieces here. Starting to get into the threshold. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about this. I'm really worried about this because that is just a window blocker. That is not going to stop bullets. You guys know I don't like throwing bangs with the lead man ever. A lot of risk right now. And we're basically in a position where we have to do single man entrance. Okay, we're clear there. I wonder, I don't know if it's possible to get a like camera through the window blocker and door kickers. I don't know. Here's what I don't like though. See, right now I've got security on this hallway, but I could get pushed here, and from this angle I could be engaged. So I actually don't have rear security right now. But now I do. But that was a trade, right? Because we have better security, but we're more bunched up. So we are at higher risk of like a mass casualty sort of situation. But we are at a lower risk of being attacked successfully from a flank. What I'm going to do here is creep forward with this guy. Put a bang into the center of this room. In fact, even push it like right there.
Alpha, go.
Barricaded shooter, we're going to have to flex out of the way. Lost one. Damn it. We lost rear security, so we got to get back into cover. That was rough losing him. Almost a clean run. We're just getting started. All right, rest of the room's clear. Do have a little bit of dead space. Want to work that first. When we say dead space, we just mean area we can't see because it's obstructed. Clear. All right, I am going to sacrifice, the two-man team I had up here. I'm going to make that a one-man team because we took casualties that we weren't expecting. I'm also going to move him up to here to reduce the range of some of these long shots you might have to take. What I'll do is I'll actually perform some external clearance with my sniper. But we know that is a dangerous move, so as he performs that, we're going to move like this with him.
Alpha, go.
Okay, we've cleared a huge chunk of this from the exterior, which is obviously an enormous advantage. I'm going to go ahead and push my DMR to here to maintain that angle for me. And then I'm going to bring this guy back here to maintain that angle for me. Cool. Now we know we're safe to enter. We got to worry about that. We've got to worry about that. Oh my God. Guys. Oh no, it was a freaking absolute heartbreak. Oh, I guess I just had too much faith in their marksmanship. The suppression effect absolutely devastated them. Man, that sucks. This is a really good map, but damn is it hard. Okay. All right, I'm going to freaking keep going, man. I'm going to keep going. Not happy about it, but I'm going to keep going. We're going to buddy up here. Now we're going to hold this angle and bring up some additional help. God damn. I'm going to leave the machine gun in here just in case we do end up getting after it one more time. And then I'll come around with these guys. Now we're going to bang and slide. Keep the bangs going. Here we go. Golly, they're everywhere. All right, now that we have kind of moved through this entire space and we can see through all these windows, my machine gunner really isn't doing a ton. I guess I just pull rear with him now. Yeah, I guess so. Looks like they all arrived from this direction, so if there's a counterattack, I think it would come from this direction. So that's the direction I'll point. Okay, I need to maintain security on these open breaches. And then deal with these. I would never feel comfortable really slinging a guy around the perimeter like this by himself, but given, you know, the situation that we find ourselves in, having lost a bunch of dudes, I'm going to finish clearing out as much of the structure as I can from outside before I commit anyone to any more of these rooms. Intel, the target packet, said that they didn't see movement outside, but that doesn't mean, you know, it's all safe. Okay, looks like that room's clear. So we got a little sliver here, and then we've got this. So I'll step up. I need to maintain because this is a freaking... It is possible that you have like a civilian or something barricaded in there, so I'll maintain what I got. Hold this. There we go. All right, let's work this piece. Got an open door here. That's the greater threat. We'll take it first. Hate short rooms. This one is clear. Hold what we got. Restack. Back over here. I do want to commit a camera first. We maintain security the whole time. Clear. Okay, so we still haven't seen our diplomat. We skipped a short room here, so he could be in there, and he could be over here. And the fact that we skipped a short room also means that, you know, we've potentially... I'll go ahead and just go buddy up with this guy. We potentially also have a threat to our rear that we're not accounting for. Okay, we also... He could be in here, which is kind of where we initially thought anyway. I'm going to wait to get the stack fixed.
Bravo, go. Alpha, go.
Get your butt on target. Okay. Kind of an interesting situation here. Worth discussing for sure. He's already over-penetrated because he's exposed by this threshold. But because of that, I'm just going to have him pivot to the door. That means he needs a blocker left because we still have dead space here. So I'm moving up here to body block left. Success. Where was our hostage at? He had to have been. Well, he didn't lose him. So he's in there somewhere. All right, that was 7 minutes and 51 seconds of really, really tough fighting. Let's go ahead and take another look at it. Man, really pissed we lost those two dudes. There was one, the first casualty was acceptable. It wasn't, you know, wasn't something I wanted to happen, obviously, but it's something that I can at least accept happened, and it was fair. The second two, I've got issue with. Let's take a look at this thing and see how it went down.
Alpha, go. Alpha, go. Alpha, go. Bravo, go. Alpha, go.
Man, what a match. 28 hostiles pacified, so that's just too short of what we forecasted. I think we said 30 from the start. Hey guys, if you did enjoy this episode, I'd appreciate your support by simply subscribing to the channel, and if you want to join the Legends on Screen as a channel member, that'll give you access to a private Discord channel as well as discounts on my merchandise and all sorts of other perks. You can learn more about that by clicking on the blue join button down below. I'm Controlled Pairs. Play the most immersive tactical shooters and combat sims in the world. This is Door Kickers 2 Task Force North, and I'll see you in the next one.